This is extremely critical information. When you consider something from a whole point of view you've never even thought about, maybe it's the unthinkable for you. We're in the sixth mass extinction, stripped from the sixth sense for the sixth time. Okay? We were declared in post-human stage, stripped from our sixth sense, which is our 27 biosenses. Right? Mental telepathy, ESP, remote viewing, telekinesis, levitation, spoon bending, clock winding. Repairing our genes 24 hours a day. No mental disorders, no DNA defects. There's only 113 people in the world here that can do that. Okay? But that's our natural organic motor skills. With a natural selection of life, a natural order. Right? Some of us are selected like this. With our natural order, with our natural organic motor skills, to use our biosenses, to think outside the mind methodologically. Right? With dimensional thinking, remote viewing, telekinesis, and all these abilities. And, you know, when you're someone like me that can use 100% of their mind, and the rest of the world's only trapped inside their mind between 7 and 15%, you know, right? You have to be someone like me, and you're not, right? You're not someone like me because you're reptilians. 98.7% live in their reptilian brain, right? No matter what comes out of their mouth, no matter what system they use, because they don't have a universal language, okay? That was taken away from them, it was removed from them, right? You know, your gods, set to your own gods, right, in your own. When you ate of the tree of knowledge, be gods like them, protected like God's them. Then they took your universal language off you. Put you into a nation with confusion and frustration. We know that for a fact. Right? Think about this. The Persians, the Greeks, the Roman days, Babylon, okay, the great flood of Noah, and the pharaohs in Egypt. What happened to 40,000 Israelites? They were mentally insane, right? They had demonic spirits in their mind. They had a hostile entity in their mind with self-centered egotism. Self-centered behavior to be competitive. And what's the whole world today in their DNA? Competitive in their DNA, right? Competitive. And what do we see? Their body cells going corruption, corrosion during the daytime and can only repair at nighttime, right? We can repair 24 hours a day, right? You can't. You're not even qualified. You don't use your biosenses. You don't think outside the mind. You think inside the mind, inverted into yourself. You die by the time you're 80 from stress-related diseases. You're controlled by an outside influence, and your reality you have no comprehension of. No comprehension of whatsoever. So you don't know your placebo effect, do you? That controls you. With two voices of mind from the tree of knowledge of all things good and evil that you're designed into. That's only a personality, and that's what you're trapped into with leverage mutation. And you mutate non-stop with artificial intelligence, which is an alien invasion with the outside influence that controls your reality. Everything artificial is an alien invasion. And people can't even wrap their mind around that. They can't even wrap their mind because they're reptilians, man. You know, everyone's telling you across the whole world that you live in your reptilian brain 95 to 99% of the time, and you can only think instinctively 1 to 5%. 1 to 5%, because you live in your mind in a screen on social engineering, right, and radio waves in front of a screen on a 5-sense world, and then you think you're a human across the world. Seriously, you want to compare yourself to a 500-year-old with the most authentic DNA in the world, no mental disorders, no DDPs? Do you want to compare yourself with a 500-year-old? Then you might wake up to yourself. They have an aura 27 times more powerful that you don't have. They have an aura 27 times more powerful that you do not have. They have an immune system 27 times more powerful than what you have. Right? They have an immune system 27 times more powerful than what you have. Okay? They have an immunity system 27 times more powerful than what you have 24 hours a day. Okay? And that's our authentic DNA. The most authentic DNA in the world, which means we don't live on psycho programs, we don't live on deceptions and lies, and we don't follow your system neither, because we're designed differently, very different, right? We're met with the greatest system by the world, right? Because they're inverted into themselves with a reptilian brain. They don't have a care factor. They don't have any moral guilt and shame neither. They don't take responsibility for any action, and they don't stand by us whatsoever. They go against us. We know that for a fact. You have to be in our shoes to know that. Christ knew that. God knew that. He knew. He knew from the word go, right, that we'd be the only ones here. And he knew that everybody would throw stones at us. And since I'm the most authentic DNA in the world, declared on documents, I know better than anyone with the mindset that you live in. You haven't got a care factor. You're not even human anymore. You're post-humans because your biosenses don't work and you don't even have faith in your own biological genes to use your own natural gated messages because they're stripped from you. So what makes you think you're human today? What makes you think you're human today when you live in a reptilian brain inside yourself? You live in consciousness, a mental event, a mental process. You live in consciousness and your Christ conscience with light, power, and energy deceiving and demonic in your personality, in your self-centered egotism, and you can't live in the truth. You can't end the truth. You can't even face it. You only live in your own truth, manifesting your own truth, with two voice mind that tells you to do that, all by design. And they sound heavily, don't they? They give you the Christ consciousness, right? And what's consciousness? What's consciousness? A mental event, a mental process, an illusion, imagination. And what do we know about a biology? We know that you're inverted in your biology on anti-clockwise. No matter what comes out of your mouth, you get younger and more mental disorders every day. And 77% of your children is born with the same gene defects that's in your DNA. DNA doesn't lie. We know that every Western's inverted with their grammar and every book they design with, because you know what? The system never worked in human history. Never has. It always collapses, and it always collapses majority of the population. Just like Babylon, like the Pharaoh days in Egypt, like Persians, Greeks in the Roman days. And every time in human history for more than 280,000 years, every single time you look at all the structures around the world, they always collapse because they collapse their biology on inverted behavior, on the placebo effect, on reverse psychology with amnesia. And amnesia means you don't know. When you have this amnesia, you don't know. You're stuck in a reincarnation trap. You get young all the time, and you can see it in the last 200 years, from 500 years old to 120 to 100 to 80 to 65 today, and now your children's going to be 45, and you don't believe in it. Well, how can you be qualified to judge? You can't think outside the mind and use 100% of your biosenses. You think in your mind with your five senses, right? Like a psychological creature with psychosis. We can see in your biology, and DNA doesn't lie. We know for a fact, right? You have to be in my shoes to know that the whole world's inverted into themselves. You have to be someone like me, right, to understand every person you're following is inverted like you are in post-human states, and not one person believes in it. Not one person believes in DNA studies, cellular study research, or gene defects. Not one person even understands their own biosenses because they can't think outside the mind with mental telepathy, ESP, remote viewing, telekinesis. And using the third eye is a picture, the window to your soul. The light bulb here, the picture that shows 1,000 multi-dimensional thinking and remote viewing and telekinesis with all these abilities to repair your DNA, not to be controlled by stress, fear, and anxiety, inverted into a human conditioning that you suffer from so much today. 95% of people take drugs and can't cope. With the biggest stress and drug pandemic all over the world, with 430 medications running out, and fentanyl and anti-ADHD medication, methamphetamine going through the roof, up 5,000 times in production and use. ADHD medication up 36 times in the last 25 years when you were told 25 years ago. What did you do about it? Well, now you exploded through the whole world from 36% mental disorder and defects to 95% today. And you think you're awake with that kind of placebo effect when you avoid these things the most? The one thing you avoid the most is the most critical thing in the world. Your biosenses are gone. And it's sending animals around in circles all over the earth and birds falling out of the sky with vertigo, with concussion, with peer reports and ovarian syndromes happening to people all over the world because they're losing their biofields. They're trapped in their mind with beautifications and artificial intelligence, virtual reality with an alien invasion, right? Mutation in their bloodlines, mutating in 24 different species, trapped inside their 23rd chromosome, with 24th chromosome in dormancy completely. Completely in dormancy since 1920 with all of your Westerner. O.V. Westerner's been trapped inside their mind for 300 years on reverse psychology in a reincarnation trap where they keep coming back. The system's never worked. It's always designed like this because you know why? They don't have amnesia, right? Right now, they're doing exactly what they did in Babylon with the triple helix, right? Hybrids. Well, let me tell you something. The most uncomfortable thing is this. People living in their mind, reptilian brain, is a hybrid, right? They are hybrids. They are not human. We know that with DNA studies done. We know they're not human. We know they won't cross over into the woman's seed in the 24th chromosome. We know they won't think outside the mind. We know they won't go in the Christ image the way they could be developed. They're in their father's image, right? They're in the fallen angel's image, the Anunnakis, the Netherlands, in their own bloodline. And we can see that in every child that's been born today with so many gene defects in that same bloodline that's going to die faster and go going through the reincarnation trap and trapped there for 1,000 years like this. You were warned about this, but you didn't know because you're deceived that much with mutations in your Bibles and every book and everything you can sign with. Every single thing's mutated with AI and artificial intelligence and alien invasion.